Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday night of So What's Been Happening. This one, episode 208 of So What's Been Happening. And joining me tonight, Bud. If you don't know about Bud, you should know about Bud. Iconic band in the scene for a long time. We're talking 90s. We're going back. So we're going to go back into that journey tonight. But we're also got some exciting things for the future for Bud. So we will talk about that very shortly with Jeremy. So, all right, we're going to, just before we do, I've got only one gig for you to push for this weekend. This one is at Luli Tavern's own Lulipalooza Festival. So this one down in Collingwood in Melbourne. So get along to this one. The closest thing to Bud you're going to experience there tonight will be, or that night, Saturday and Saturday night, will be Grim Rhythm. So get along and see those guys, three-piece in the feel of Bud. You will enjoy them. They are the next generation of Bud. Where Bud are left off and where Bud are heading, these guys are right in the journey with them. So look forward to seeing them again this weekend. But let's set the scene for a little bit of Bud. We're going to play a clip that kind of combines a lot of where Bud have been on a bit of a journey. This one called Yeti, just before we bring him up. right. Well, if that didn't give you a feel for the fuzz and the greatest fuzz band of all, let's bring them up. Jez from Bud. How are you, mate? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. Greatest fuzz band of all. That's a tough one.
That's it, mate. If anyone leads the fuzz, it's you guys by a street, I reckon.
Well, I can say that I live for fuzz. That's
absolutely.
my main
name. Yep. There's a line from an Electric Mary song that says, "No one does it better than me," and I think that that long lives in amongst this. And let's kick off with one of those images which is iconic for the band right now. This look. What a beautiful jumper. Hey, that's a sweater from hell, that one. The ultimate. Talk to us a little bit about, mate. That's so iconic for you guys. Where did that come from? Obviously, the world of speedway is big. Evel Knievel. Talk to me about where did that one come from?
Well, where did the jumper come from, or just the jumper? Kerry actually found me the jumper. She won't tell me how she got it or who she got it from, but it was a birthday present. It goes back to a band called Tad. I don't know if you're aware of them, but it was Nirvana, Mudhoney, and Tad back in the day. They were my favorite bands, and still are.
Yeah.
And on one of Tad's records, their first album, which was called God's Balls, if you look on the back cover, you will see that jumper being worn by Kurt Danielson, the bass player for Tad. And I casually said to Kerry one day, "I love that jumper. I wish I could get a hold of a jumper like that." And then when my birthday came around, there it was. So I have to thank Kerry for that. Thank you, Kerry.
Either that or it's an incredible, perfect double. Who knows? Who knows the end story? But great to have it in your hands anyway, and wear it with pride as you do.
Yeah, I love that jumper. It's beautiful.
All right. It's anniversary time for you guys bringing out a reissue album, which is really cool. Of Ovit. Here it is in its form. Beautiful key. I love that font that you guys used. That etched kind of. It's almost a potato cut back in the day that we used to do for pressing.
Well, there's a story. There's a story behind that too. That's that font was hand designed by Carl Brykers, who did all our artwork back in the day from Yak Fat through to Prana, and all through the 90s, and that was done by hand. When we reissued the Ovit vinyl, I got in contact with Carl to redo the artwork for the album, and he had to rebuild it because he did the original. This is back in '95 when he did it, so there was no digital files of it. He hand did it and then sent the artwork by mail to Fellaheen. And so we, once you send stuff to your record label, you never see it again. So he rebuilt it all digitally. But yeah, that font is his design. So you can't actually find that font online anywhere. It's something that he came up with.
Yeah, it's really cool how four letters can be so iconic for an album.
All the letters were individually designed specifically to have a certain look. So yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely, and the eye with the little flame. For the dot. Rings very true. Rings very true. Before we kind of push too far in, I wanted to touch on an image. Typically now I can't find, so I have to come back to it. But it's in relation to the beautiful world of guitar pedals, mate. And I know you're a lover and a peruser of great music and pedals, and nothing creates fuzz like these kind of pedal boards, which intrigue me, mate. Guitars are one thing, and amps and everything else, but everything that goes with it. And I'm sure this has had multiple upgrades and things along the way, the things you find.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you don't get away with a little couple of pedals these days. There's a pedal and a plug for everything. Tell us a bit about that board and kind of what it.
Well, it definitely didn't happen overnight. It's been an evolution since. I think the first. When I first started playing in Bard, I had 3 pedals, and then it's just grown since then. There was a time in the mid-90s there where I actually had 2 separate pedals boards that I would fold together and then put in a case.
Yeah.
And that was fraught with problems. It was good having a in a small case, but it was just, there was always potential for things to go wrong and knobs to get knocked and switches to get hit and stuff like that. So I put it in that big case that it's in now, which is the big long, like looks like a coffin basically.
Yeah.
And it's probably been 30 years in evolution. But that picture you showed just then is the current version of it. I just had a quick look and go, yeah, that's what I'm going with at the moment.
That's still the
one. I haven't touched anything on it for maybe a year or so now, but I'm pretty happy with where it is at the moment.
Yeah. So just on that, did it continue to evolve after all those years, or did you kind of get it to a point and then it's had a bit of an upgrade as you guys, when you reformed and started to re-release?
Yeah. I had to change a few things when we started playing again, and obviously also pedals. The pedal world, as we know it today, is just gone gangbusters. So there's so many pedals out there now. But yeah, I definitely have. I have done some modifications to things and stacked a few pedals on top of a few things and added a few different modifications to the setup so that I can play songs from the early era and then the sort of later stuff as well. So it's sort of, I'm trying to cover all the bases with how I've got it set up now.
The joys of a back catalogue and trying to play them as you used to back in the 90s. It was a whole different world.
There's some pedals on there I only use for one song.
Yeah.
So,
but that's kind of what guitarists and stuff do, isn't it? They bring the toys bring all the toys, especially the gigs close to home.
Yeah. So I try to be as authentic as I can to the original recording of the song and try and recreate exactly. Or if I've got the pedals, then I will use that pedal. Yep. Whatever Perfect. It was. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to around the year 93. I think this one is Scary. That's about the time, I think, when it first hit the waves.
Scary from Yak Fat you're talking about?
Yeah.
When that song came out.
Yeah. Was that around that time?
Record, 93. Yes. Yeah. Yak Fat was 93. Yes. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I had to bring my mind back.
Yeah, absolutely. We're casting a long way back there.
You've gone right back.
That's right. Right back and still to today. So the great part about this is this was about the year after I left, year 12. That whole scene was, pretty big. There was lots of bands coming through. Clips were really important, and visuals and those kind of things, and where they hit the airwaves and what they were played on, and just little memories that you pop up and flick up. And to be honest, I lost touch with a bit of Bud over all those years, but I've kind of rekindled that love, especially in amongst the time that you've now reissued and reformed again and playing again. And you're playing a lot of gigs kind of at the moment with some of the up and coming bands that are in and out at the moment. Including Willie J and the 6v6s and those kind of guys. So to see you guys in amongst those must give you a real buzz that obviously it's an honor, to still to play with those young bands, but obviously it's a massive honor for them to play with you guys as well.
Yeah, it's been a big learning curve for me, getting up to date with, since coming back and playing again with the current bands that are playing around at the moment. And it's taken me a good 12 months to sort of be familiar with everyone that's playing.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been interesting for sure. Yeah.
What have you seen? Well, what do you kind of notice that the biggest kind of changes are? Is it wouldn't so much be in equipment necessarily, but you know, what's the feel? How does it feel different in the kind of, well, we're talking, it has been 20, 30 years, but we're talking, you know, how have you seen it progress over the last couple of years even?
I think the biggest difference I notice is just how, you know, obviously with the digital realm now, you know, with Facebook and Instagram and everything's hinged off those two things. That's the biggest change that I see. I mean, I know it's been like that for a while, but and the way venues operate now, they're all a lot more official.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but generally speaking, like as far as the bands are concerned, I don't really see a whole lot that has changed, you know, in terms of there's still the rock bands and there's still, you know, the stoner rock and there's still, you know, there's all different genres out there. I'm probably not as au fait with the, you know, the really young bands that are coming through, because we seem to be playing with a lot of bands that are sort of still from our generation, I guess you could say.
Sure.
But with the younger bands, the ones that we have played with, it's been quite endearing. You know, they'll come up to me afterwards, goes, "Wow, that was amazing," and blah blah blah. And sometimes I feel like I'm like a museum piece, because they look at my equipment and they just go, "Oh my god!" Like my amp and my guitar should be in a museum. You know, they look at it like that.
Well,
but it's the same gear I've always had. I've had the same amp, the same guitars, the same pedals all this time. But I've just forgotten that I've had that gear for like 30 years.
There's nothing wrong with being a rolling museum, mate. All right, here it is. Let's flash back to 93 with Scary. Still brings a smile to my face. Enjoying those moments, mate. There's some chaos and madness and all things in between, mate. Just reflecting back and looking at that, and you probably haven't looked at that clip for a little while, but you know, how important do you still think that clips and footage and a visual component of music in general is in today's world?
Oh, oh, yeah, I have to be. I mean, didn't MTV kind of set that
Yeah,
back in the when the music videos started happening? And yeah, I mean, like, obviously, the imagery that goes with the band is, very important, I would imagine, for everyone.
mm, yep.
Yeah.
As you know, we kind of get to, well, we grew up with it. Obviously, I grew up watching guys like yourselves on, your Rages and MTVs and all those kind of moments. And it was kind of before we got to see festivals and get to festivals and experience those big day outs and all those kind of great live acts. And you kind of will sit there and you think, how the hell are they playing this? Like, I can't even work this out. Until you got to see them, see equipment, see the kind of guitars, and that was the real moment that those visual components really kicked in. And love to see a band play live, but I just don't. I mean, they're done now, but they're just the platform of that 15 seconds of attention span that we get these days makes it a little hard to kind of absorb that. And where do you play it these days? Because a lot of those shows are all kind of gone missing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yeah. You're talking about the music shows
Yeah,
that used to be on TV, and they would play videos of bands and stuff. So
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. I do miss that.
Mm. The
um,
late night rages and the those
yeah.
Saturday morning
What was
shows and all those.
what was the show on the ABC? Rock Arena. That was my. I saw so
Yeah.
many good bands through. I found out about so many good bands through videos that I'd see on Rock Arena late at night.
Mm.
Uh, Recovery was in the 90s. They were great.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, everything's, the landscape is all different now.
It does. It changes quickly. But you're right. As I discussed, we get that 15 seconds of attention.
Mm,
That's about it. That's what you've got to capture.
mm.
It's hard to capture Bud in a 15-second bit of crazy madness. You need a hell of a lot more, and you need a feeling, right? But you
Yeah.
guys grip it right at all. Doesn't matter which 15 seconds you cut up. I think you can still grab them. So
Well,
that's
that's why I like sticking Speedway in there now, because I just think
yeah,
it's action packed, and it kind of really speaks. That's how I think when I look at Speedway. I've got a massive. I'm a massive fan of Speedway,
mm,
and to me, it encompasses what I am and what the band is. It's like if I put a bit of Speedway up in the video, that's the energy of the band. That's because I was brought up with Speedway as from. I was going to the Speedway. My mum was taking me to the Speedway to see my uncle race from when I was 3 years old. So it's sort of in my blood. So 15 seconds, Speedway will do it.
absolutely. And in between races, what were they playing, mate, back in the day?
Oh, they love the 70s rock, yeah. It's like, yeah, Chuck Berry, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, all that.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect.
Black Sabbath.
As you do, yeah. All the big iconic bands, but I think definitely the new version of Speedway that's kind of coming through. You talk more grunge bands now that really fit. Some of the bands are quite punky in amongst that as well, that really fit and get to go with some of those clips that they always played and put together.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's turned a little. It's not all Sabbath.
Yeah. Well, to me, Speedway is something of the past in a way. Like it's kept its heritage.
Yep.
You can't modify. You can't. What's the word I'm looking for? Modification of speed. Like it's not a. It's still. I look at Speedway and I still think of the 70s and the 80s, and or when I was growing up. and speedway goes way decades before that as well, you know, and it's got this heritage to it, and I really identify with that kind of sort of loyalty, I guess you could say, to the craft of speedway. Yes, you know, they use engines, and it's you know, speedway was probably never going to go the way of like EVs or electric cars or electric bikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about the methanol and burning fuel.
Yeah, well, we're obviously seeing that in the world. It's getting a big knock at the moment in relation to anything hybrid.
Yeah.
They don't sound the same, they don't smell the same, and they definitely, well, they kind of look the same a little. But yeah, the speedway culture obviously has heavily influenced your sound. That kind of
and the sound of speedway.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
The sound I've been chasing. That guitar sound I have is me chasing the sound of those speedway bikes. And I didn't realize that until I got into my 30s, when I caught up with my Uncle Colin again back then. And the first thing we do is we go to a speedway, and I hadn't seen any speedway for maybe 15, 20 years. And as soon as those bikes line up at the tapes and they started, and I was listening to the engine, I went, oh my God, it's been right in front of me the whole time. This is the sound that I've been going for, is the sound of those four bikes, the 4 speedway bikes. They've got like 500cc 4-stroke engines, and they just sound awesome. When you've got the 4 of them going together, and they sort of harmonize with each other, because they're all sort of in a similar rev range, and it's that sound that they have is the thing that I've been chasing the whole time. And so yeah, that's why Bud sounds like it does.
The endless search, and that'll never go away. That'll stay with Bud into new music and forever.
Yes,
as long as there's speedway, there's Bud. So that's a great way to be. All right, we're going to play a bit of Kneecap. We're going back, well, not too far now, 95-ish now. We're pushing forward quickly. Here it is.
But the video has just made it recently, so it's a modern video to the Kneecap that came out in 95.
Yep. All right, here it goes. Let's tie it in. Yeah, absolutely. There it is. There's the tie-in. It's beautiful. Nothing I loved more was smelling that petrol, uh, pre-burnt or non-burnt petrol. Those spree cars.
Methanol. They all use
Absolutely.
methanol. There's got to be
Yep.
technical about that.
Yeah. Very true. Good pickup. And that sound when they all let go, and come around that first corner, whether it be bikes or definitely the sprint cars, and cover you and shower you in mud after they've just freshly sealed, freshly watered the track. There was nothing better, I remember, as a kid, and then waiting for that big crash and the tire to fly over the fence. It was a great time, and look, it's still a great time in amongst that speedway world. That is one place that just will never change, and hope never changes, and everything else has changed in the world, but the beauty of those little moments that stay together, and the tie-in with your music, it's just synonymous with speedway.
Well,
and what
I'm very lucky to that the video footage from that video I got from my good friend Jeff Burns, who was the speaker driver, and so he had a GoPro mounted in his car. So all that is from his racing, and so you saw like that car flying through the air, like flipping, and him getting upturned, and like his car just went straight vertical up in the air and then came down. You know, I was at that race when that happened. And it's so exciting. The whole thing about speedway is like, I get to hang out in the pits with Jeff when he's racing, and
Very cool.
being in the pits is just brilliant. It's the best thing. And so all that racing is just so exciting. The speed cars are just, they're awesome. They've got so much attitude when they're out the track. They're so 450 horsepower those engines have.
It's ridiculous. Isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Given the size of the car, the way it looks, and those things just get up and absolutely dance across the mud. It's quite incredible. And a circular track, or near enough to circular track, is quite incredible too, to see those things sideways.
Get down to your local speedway now, kids.
That's it. Look up your local speedway, and hear some great music while you're amongst it. And right, hanging out in the pits and seeing those drivers. Oh, geez, you're bringing back some great memories. I thank my dad for dragging me along to those speedway gigs, sneaking a kid in here and there. It was always great fun. All right, so we talk reissues. Why now? Obviously, anniversary time, which makes it obvious, but kind of why now as a re-release, and why vinyl? Like, where does it all this come from? Obviously, you'd love a.
Okay, I've got a good story for you.
Go for it.
It started quite a while ago, back in 2018. Wally Kempton, who runs Cheersquad Records, rang me up about suggesting putting Ovit out on vinyl. He goes, "Oh, I love that record. I reckon we could put that on vinyl." And I thought, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And so we were sort of nutting it out back then. And then life stuff happened for me, and I couldn't continue with it at that point. But my philosophy on the whole thing was, back when we were playing a lot and putting out records back in the 90s, the option to put out vinyl wasn't there, because all the vinyl pressing plants got shut down in Australia anyway, around 92, 93, around about the time when we were really starting to kick off. And even though we were on a record label with Fellaheen, it was just not possible to do. I would ask Steve Stav at Fellaheen back in the day if we can put our stuff out on vinyl, and he says, "So we can't do it. It's just there's no, the record pressing plant that he used with Waterfront and Fellaheen got shut down. It was in Marrickville in Sydney. So everything we did then had to be on CD, because the CDs ruled. They took over back then in the 90s, and I guess for me, it was always like my thing about being in a band was yes, you're a real band, but you didn't feel like you're a real band until you had vinyl, like until you put your records out on vinyl. And now I have the means to be able to do that, and vinyl has had such a big resurgence in the last couple of decades, or especially the last decade. It's just me making amends for us not being able to put vinyl out back in the day. So that's the main reason, and I'd just like to have all our older releases out on vinyl again, and I will. That's what I'm working towards. I'll one by one, I'll go through them all and get them all re-released on vinyl. It's more of a personal thing for me than anything else, really.
Sure. Yeah. Pay homage to where the music really wanted to be and where you wanted to release it originally. So that's the legacy you end up leaving on vinyl as it should be. That's not a bad way to be.
Yeah. And I mean, I can honestly say that vinyl sounds better than CD. Like when we re-released Yak Fat on vinyl back in 2015 through Tim Guitars or Tim Records. When I first got to hear the test pressing of Yak Fat, and it just blew me away. I was hearing things in it that I didn't hear before off the CD. And then I was like, right. So I did an A/B test, and I started the record and started the CD, and I kept switching between the two. And the record just was so much better. So much. The CD just lacked depth to the sound, and the vinyl just brought it out. And I was hearing things in there I never heard before. So it was great. That was really encouraging. And so that was also another reason why I'd like to put everything out that we did on vinyl eventually.
What about let's not forget the beautiful world of cassettes, mate. Do you think we can see a potential resurgence? I've seen a couple of things come out on cassette. Some of the young bands are doing their thing to keep it real.
Yeah, I have noticed that, actually, the younger bands wanting to put stuff out on cassettes because of I guess it's like what do you call it, kitsch or niche market, maybe.
It's a
retro
niche. Absolute niche. Very retro. Yep. You find them in the dollar bin, but they're trying to now sell one for $20 or $30, which is.
Can you actually buy cassette players new today?
I can't remember the artist I saw or heard about recently and saw a thing promoted. It might have even been Jimmy Barnes. He's done a re-release with a cassette tape, and you get the Walkman with it, which I thought was really cool. And it was the yellow style, with the yellow buds on the metal kind of little headphones. So it was so cool with the little foam. Terrible. But long live.
Kerry's just showing me something on you can buy cassette players on like new, and they're retro looking too, like old style.
A challenge. There's a challenge for Bud to put out one of the EPs.
So what's going on there? Like, people are buying cassette players now.
I just think it's one of those things to be known for or seen for, doing something a little different. I think in that world of the electronic world now, to try and get a little bit of cut through on something or a discussion that's a little bit different. You very much go through the methods of the old school ways, but to have someone like Chris Hamilton that hooked us together here with Bud, to have someone in your stable doing those kind of things for you, so you guys can do what you do and write music, record music, get to just go and be a musician again, and play it, and not have to try and be a digital master at the same time. It's great to have someone like that in your stable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. All right.
Yeah, definitely. You can always have someone like that'll look after it. All right, let's play Banger. This is a killer.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much more to say, is there? It's all about a beautiful. Who would have thought a beautiful fade out on a Bud song?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm capable of that sometimes.
All right, we're gonna touch on a few live gigs you got coming up, mate. You've played a few obviously early this year. Touch on a few. This one I mentioned before with Willie J and Spit and Chips, yourselves and Snake Powder. And Snake Powder, one of the great bands in rocking the world at the moment with Paulie P. So they played the front bar of the Tote actually before Hard Ons and Red Cross on the weekend, which was a great little intro. And then you did this one at Shot Kickers in Feb as well, and also this one up at Trash Cult.
Trash Cult was unreal. It's so good, that one.
Yeah.
The people in Bendigo were just amazing. They were just so enthusiastic. Yeah, we had a great time.
Starved for live gigs. I think up that way. There's plenty of live gigs, but they've got a great scene up there for that.
Yeah. They've really cultivated a great community out there, and it was so good. It was so good. Trash Cult.
Great to hear. All right, you've got a bit of a run coming up, 26th, 27th, 28th of March, all up New South Wales way. This one hit to Mosh Pit Bar. This is the 26th, the official re-release party or launch or tour, whatever you want to call it these days.
Our New South Wales leg of launching over, I guess you could say.
Yep, absolutely. And this one at La La La's, get along to that one as well with Astrodeath in support, which is another big one for you. And then that's a Thursday, Friday, and then to finish it off on the Saturday, off to Lincoln Pin with the Warts. Get along to that one as well. So pretty good to thanks to Cheersquad Records for jumping on board and making Jez's dream a reality. So thanks, Wally, for doing everything you do, mate, for Cheersquad Records and labels. Long live those labels that are trying to push new music and give independent young artists as well as older artists a push in the world that we need. So thanks, Wally, for everything you do, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Wally.
Yep. Long may it continue. He's a great man. Tell us a little bit about kind of what's next after March. Obviously, you come down to Melbourne. You've got one at Cactus Room. Yep, there it is on the 11th.
I was gonna look. Here we go.
It's much cooler to have a printed out flyer. Much cooler.
Analog.
Yeah, maybe we could whip up a quick tape little EP for that set. Talk to us about that one, mate. Cactus Room, great little room. You guys are going to be huge in there.
Yeah, we played at Cactus Room. I think it was our first show back, early 2024 in Melbourne, and it was great. It's such a great venue, great sound in there, and really good vibe and good people. So really looking forward to, because we've been meaning to get back there, and this gig in particular is our good friend Nat. Her birthday. It's basically for her birthday, and she's got her favorite bands together, and we happen to be one of them. So
very cool.
That's how that sort of came about.
Nothing wrong with playing birthday parties.
April the 11th. Yeah,
it is. So, April 11th. Yeah. Get along to that one at Cactus Room. It's kind of that little venue for a lot of people don't know it. It's just down a bit on High Street, in amongst the middle, not far from Welcome to Thornbury, heading on the way up to Shot Kickers. The spot there just on the right, tiny little room. Look for the little pyramid logo with the eye. That's the spot. And it's really cool. It's a tiny little room. You'll stand in there. You'll stand at the front gate. You walk in and you think, where's the venue? Like this is it. But it's so cool. You're in that lounge room. You're really in amongst it, and that little Stonehenge window that they cover with the curtain is beautifully done.
Yeah, it's very
a little recording place as well.
Yeah, it's very close up and personal in there. And they have a great beer garden sort of area outside area at the back too. So yeah, it's very cozy, very cozy.
It is. And as the weather starts to get cooler after that, into April and May, what are you what are we expecting from Bud? Are we going to see you out and about, or are you going to rest up and
we're taking a little bit of a break through winter. I've got to head back to Queensland for a little while.
Yep.
And
to warm up.
So I live between Brisbane and Melbourne, kind of thing. Yep. So I'm like half and half, pretty much at the moment. And so
not a bad way to be.
I'll probably be back in Melbourne October, November, something like that, and then we'll look at playing more shows.
Yep.
On from there, and see what. Also, I want to look at. I guess the next thing to look at is putting out NAF on vinyl. That'll probably be the next thing that will be taking up my brain space.
Perfect.
And hopefully, that one. Yeah. So, looking forward to putting that out on vinyl finally, and hopefully over the winter I can get to sit down at home and put together some more riffs and more songs, and try to come up with. We did record. Along with that banger track that you played before, we did record another 3 tracks with that, like new ones. But we just haven't worked out what to do with them just yet. There's a few things in the pipeline. Possibly be doing a split single with someone with one of the songs. But it'd be good to have some more songs recorded.
Sure.
Like new songs, and then just go from there, I think. Bud is always like a very organic sort of, I guess it's an organic machine.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there kind of a band out there now, or a band from the previous eras that you kind of really have connected to, or feel like that's a bit of the energy or direction you guys would like to kind of maybe experiment a little bit in?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. Kerry, what did you say? Mudhoney.
That's all right.
I don't know, really.
Sure.
It's a good question. I guess I got lots of riffs in my phone that every time I pick up a guitar, something will pop out, and then I'll just sort of quickly put it in my phone. And so I've got like over 300 riffs sitting in there that I need to sort of look at, and I'll probably as far as like being influenced by other bands, I don't know. That's I'm influenced by the energy of bands, I guess you could say.
Sure.
But I get inspired. Like, what inspires me most is usually speedway. But I don't know. That's a tough question. I can't really answer it. Sorry.
That's right. That. It sounds like over this next summer period, you need to hit the speedway again and get re-inspired.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Anything else to add, or we will?
Okay. I've got a list here of things.
Please go for it.
Okay. So we're going to be recording more with Kez and Cris. So Cris Wilson's been drumming with us. Also, Tom Jackman. So we've been sort of alternating between 2 drummers at the moment, because sometimes Cris isn't available through work, and then Tom can step in, and then sometimes Tom isn't available, so Cris can do it. So it's sort of we've been jumping around. That's why it's been a bit confusing with people going, which drummer do you have? We've actually got 2 drummers, which is a pretty good place to be at the moment. So Tom drummed in Bud from 2006 through to 2012. So we did the Jawa EP with him, and yeah. So that Tom currently lives in Tassie, so he flies up occasionally. So he's going to be playing with us with these Sydney shows. So he's flying up from Tasmania and meeting us in Sydney for these shows in Sydney. And what else we got here? Ovit launches in Sydney. Oh, okay. And also Narco, who was originally in the band when we recorded Ovit. So he plays bass on the recording. He's coming down from Brisbane and meeting us in Sydney, and we're going to be doing 2 sets of each show that we're doing in Sydney, where the first set will be the current lineup with me, Kez, and Tom on drums, and then the second set we'll have a little break, and then we'll have the second set with me, Narco, and Tom on drums, and that's when we play the songs off Ovit and Naf and Yakfat, the older era songs. So it's sort of like a modern set and then a retro set kind of thing.
Perfect.
That's how we're doing it, trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah, great way to honor the past and into the next version. And it would be remiss of me not to ask this. But thanks for the little prompt, Jeffrey Burns, to ask me, Jeremy, your favorite pedal, and why is it? Why it's a big muff? Talk to me about that particular pedal, mate. I've heard of this multiple times. But talk to me about why for you.
Why? Oh, okay. Here's the original. This is my original Big Muff pedal that I bought back in the 90s.
That's cool.
It's a bit beat up. Yeah. Why this pedal? It sounds amazing.
Yep.
It just does it for me. It's got the low end in it, and when I first used one, this is before I realized the connection with Speedway. This is subliminally must have been talking to me.
Sure.
Like, I sound like Speedway bikes.
There it is. The sound you've been missing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the Big Muff, it's important sound. And yeah, that pedal's been through a lot, that one. I actually lost this pedal for a little while, for a couple of weeks. It fell out. It was in its case, in my pedal case at the time, and it fell out the back of a car when we were driving to a gig in Lismore, and when we were leaving Brisbane, and it got run over by other cars, the case, and then it happened to turn up in a shop, in a restaurant. It was someone that, a chef that was working in the restaurant, picked it up off the road and took it into the shop and went, I don't know what any of this is. I'll talk to my friend who plays in a band. And that friend knew another guy in a band that I knew, and that's how I got my pedals back.
Incredible. Talk about destiny.
But that's why it's a bit dented. It's a bit, it's a little bit dented in because it got ran over. Incredible.
How does something like that survive? And definitely, a tribute to the old classics, like old speedway cars, mate. You can turn them over and smash them, and they still plug them in tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, mate. You've been incredible with your time. Thanks for joining me tonight. We could talk for a hell of a lot longer, but also wary of your time, mate, on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. Thanks to Cris Wilson again for connecting us. Thanks for everything you do for music, Famo. And we'll, most importantly, enjoy these next few gigs, mate. And let's try and get out and see you and see Bud at a venue very near you very soon.
Excellent. Thank you, Aaron, for having me on the show. Very much appreciated.
No worries. See you out there.
See ya.
Great to have Jeremy Finlayson join me and have a chat about Bud. Really exciting and a special one for me to talk to someone who I've loved as a band and music for multiple years, and great to reconnect and reconnect on a platform that I never thought I'd ever do, which is a live podcast talking music. So thanks to everyone that joins me in amongst this. Next week I've got 2 shows actually. I've got the Ians coming up, which will be great, and also a young band that's just released finally a full debut album on vinyl called Death Trends. They're going to join me next Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday set next week, which I've normally only been doing Tuesdays again. So please, if you're a young band out there, an old band, it doesn't matter. Please hit me up. Let's have a chat. There's a great journey in music. And it's a special world when you guys get to play, and for punters like us to come to venues and support artists like yourself and transport us from the world that we're in to another world for even a 45-minute set is truly a special gift. So thank you guys for doing everything you do for music. We will see you out there.